So this is 12/22nd. It's the ACS public meeting, ACS Data and Public Meeting. I'm calling committee to the order so we can begin our proceedings. The first order is the public comments. Do we have any public people? Yes, we have one and he can't speak yet. It's making some noise, which is great. Okay, so we don't have anyone, so we'll move on. So the second agenda item is the approval of previous meeting minutes.
I shared the minutes. They're on the share drive. I think, Cliff, you had a couple like minor changes, right? But nothing.
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
a number of changes, but you'd already submitted them to the town hall.
Well, I submitted the draft.
Well, they consider that the submission, right? They responded, they wrote back and they said, this is it. And if you're gonna change them, you do it in your next meeting as amendments.
So I don't think so because I submit them as draft and they accept them as draft, I believe.
So that's what you're describing is what happened when I was doing these things.
Right.
I did that every time, a draft right away.
Yeah.
After all the comments back and they were
And then the
approved, I
final.
sent the final.
Yeah.
But they've been saying no, and she wrote back and she said, I don't even remember which one it was. I'd have to look for my.
So procedurally, if they're saying, okay, amend them next meeting, fine. So they're amended, do we agree to amended one and resubmit? Is it as simple? Right?
Well, no, it becomes part of the minutes of the meeting where.
Current meeting.
But the thing is that so many of these changes are very small changes, and you're not gonna wanna have in our meeting a discussion about
Exactly.
whether something needs to be
Yeah.
capitalized or you need to. A lot of little things like that, and some of them are more substantive, but they don't really require a lot of discussion. They just need to be put in there and then people look at them and I think everybody says, fine.
So do they need the draft minutes?
My sense is we don't need to send.
We don't need to submit draft minutes at all? Because
As
I'm happy
long
to
as,
not.
as long as we get them in within the window, which is it 7 days?
7 days, something, yeah.
I thought it was,
We said 3 days, we said
3
within
days.
3 days, we
Oh,
provide you
that's for us.
any feedback and then you can submit them with our feedback. That is the idea we had.
Yeah.
We could still do that, right? If you submit as early as next Monday with any input from Nawan, that should be fine. So then don't submit the draft.
I guess maybe I'll just clarify that
Yeah.
we don't need to submit draft minutes because I was under the impression that we did need to submit draft minutes. So I'll clarify with them because it just says, she just responded, Krista McNamara responded that the minutes submitted to the town clerk's office were stamped and filed.
Yes,
But if there are any changes to those minutes, please reflect the changes in the minutes of your next meeting.
exactly. That's what I.
So
I mean, to me,
I guess I'll
the
just-
easy answer is
just submit the final.
submit,
Yeah.
on the 7th day, after everybody's had a chance to comment and, there's no objection.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what I would.
fair enough. Can we approve them?
Yeah, approve them and they're submitted, that's fine.
Okay.
And then if there is amendments, we can adjust as we go forward because
Okay.
I think in this particular case, because there were a number of amendments, it would make sense to set, did you send her the final one too? You did you?
No, because I thought we were going
Yeah.
to approve them here,
Right.
and then that would be fine.
approve them and send anyway.
Yeah,
And then that's okay, they can take them.
I would move to approve the minutes as amended.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
Can-
all in favor?
Yep. All right.
Okay. Okay, and then we'll make that change and just send them the final minutes. That's great.
Yeah.
Less stuff for me.
Yes. The baby approves too.
He
Wonderful.
approves.
Yep.
He's in favor.
Good. So on the next agenda item is Sustainable City Award. So Lauren, thank you for going into the award ceremony. Would you mind giving us a quick debrief if you don't?
Sure. So we, Carolyn and I went up there, gosh, when was that? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
28th, I think. Yeah, October 28th. We did the event. It was fantastic. They acknowledged us. We went up on stage. We did some networking with some other towns, which was really great. Norwalk. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they got gold, and all of the towns that got gold did get money $12,500 each, I think, as it was like so they did like a whole big thing with the giant check, and all the towns that got gold got some additional financial things. And so they're reinvesting that into their program. So, another incentive for the town if we wanted to go gold someday. Yeah, so I think overall it was a great event.
Yeah.
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 Oh, we did get our plaque. We got a couple of pictures there, but I think we really want to do the picture here. I
Yes.
drafted a press release. And hopefully we can talk about that and move forward with that in a picture. And
Yeah, so the question is, I think we just need to get everybody for a given day. We need to check when John's going to be available. So that's why I asked for availability. I think Cliff, you're the only one who came back with availability of people. So we need
No,
to,
I think I wasn't the only one, actually. I said I would be here. I didn't offer any other availability except generally
no,
speaking.
but he said he gave you a general time.
Yeah.
I assumed it would be available in those times.
Someone else was very
Someone else?
specific. I can't recall.
Maybe I missed it.
That's for the picture.
And Abby said, Abby doesn't want to be, but Abby, you are a committee member. It doesn't matter. So it's still in the committee. So we can't leave you out. So please.
you should be in the picture
Yes, absolutely. Everyone should be there. It doesn't matter.
here.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
think Carolyn might have been the one who said, I
Yeah.
can't be at your meeting, but I can.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so that's the picture. What do you want to finish on that?
Well, I think we need to agree on, okay, I'm going to request all of you to think about a date. I'm going to send an email, follow-up email for, okay, how soon should we do? Because you said, Lauren, rightly, that we are already getting late, right? You don't
Yeah.
want it to become the scale. Right,
Out from
right.
the other towns,
Right.
so.
So let me do something. After the meeting, I'm going to talk to Linda and ask for general availability for John. When he's available, generally speaking.
Okay.
A weekday, weekend, what's ideal? Let me get some slots, and then maybe that way we can say, guys, can you please make available on one or the other? So we'll just go from there.
That sounds like a good idea.
Right. Okay.
But with respect to the text itself, I know that I did, you did it on Google Docs, I think, and I did some suggestions in it and made some commentary about it.
Yeah, I mean, just feel free to just make the changes. I'm not tied to any of it. I just took it off their template and, just kind of put Darien in there. I put a quote in there from myself, but I don't, because I didn't
That's
have
okay.
anybody else.
But there was one thing in it that sounded like we'd done something I didn't think we'd done, and
Okay.
I questioned that. in
The
my-
equity one, I think fine tuning for the house solving the homeless thing. I think you said that may need a little bit. I think you did the tweaking, and I think I did the tweaking. I did the tweak already to say that constrain it to our effort versus calling it to have solved the problem.
Okay.
You take a look at it. The other things looked okay to me. I made an adjustment to what
Do you guys want to review it or do you want to?
Yeah, we can.
Do you want to review it now or?
We can do either. Yeah, you can bring it up if you're on the screen.
I mean, in it, you asked for certain things like a quote from John or something, I
Yes.
think, right?
That's right. Yeah,
And
which
we
I don't have.
we don't have one, right?
Right.
Well, we need the
So-
picture. We need the picture.
The picture?
And we would
And
get,
then we'll ask him to give a
Yeah,
quote.
that's
That should be an easy one. He's pretty responsive. It's really us getting together with him to get a picture. And then the quote should be pretty quick.
Anything else? I don't recall anything else that was needed to be filled in.
yeah, Carolyn said she had some changes too. I told her to go ahead and make them
Yeah.
on the draft.
So
Um,
who would we submit that to for press release? Do we know?
I think we submitted to communications,
Okay.
what's her name, Mark?
That one.
Or,
I've never met her. I don't know her name either, but you're right. That's where it goes.
Yeah.
She'll be able to get it out to the Darien Packet
Okay.
and the Darien Times and
yeah, all the different.
Darien Rowayton Magazine.
Yeah, maybe we do kind of a bunch of them too. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then the picture itself, do they have like a town photographer? Do you guys know? Anyone?
Oh.
Question.
Who takes the picture? Do we just take the picture with our iPhone or
That's
does
what I was
somebody?
thinking, but okay.
All right, let me
You
check.
know,
Yeah.
if this is, I don't know, if they're gonna make an article out of it, the Darien Magazine
Right.
would send a photographer to take the picture if it was going to them. But if it's gonna go
Oh.
everywhere, they might, I imagine they wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, like if they just did themselves.
Yeah.
And we want the picture to look nice.
Well, maybe they see their press release and then want to then do an article on
Yeah.
it and then,
Hoping,
That'd be
I'm
a
hoping
separate-
this will lead to more articles.
Okay. So do we have a contact, you know, the day?
I
Do you
do,
know?
I do.
Can you check with them, Lauren, then? Yeah. See.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna send her the draft when the draft was done, but I can ask before if you want.
Ask for the, we're planning to take a picture.
About the picture?
Take the
Who
picture.
wants
Yeah,
to
just
do the
picture,
picture?
please. Yeah.
Okay,
The photographer's available. It's good. But then we should say that it probably will be used by others too.
what? Sorry.
The press release will be used by other magazines also. We should let them know. Not that
tell her,
the
okay,
picture is not specific to them.
okay.
All right, so I will talk to Linda right after the meeting, or I'll send an email. So we'll see how do we get John's time, and then I'll send you some slots. Very good. Now the next agenda item we have is gas-powered leaf blowers.
Before we do.
Oh,
that,
sorry.
On sustainable CT.
Yeah.
We, I believe, had decided that we wanted to take maybe 2 of the action points.
Yes.
Per meeting
Yes.
and not spend forever on them, but in a very short period of time. What have we learned from these that's actionable?
Yeah.
It's sort of going through the whole thing, and what did we get out of this? And that will help inform us whether we're going to try for gold, and it also make sure that we don't just sort of forget about all these things that maybe we've learned that we should be doing. And there was even talk of having a meeting in between our,
Yeah, that's what's going to go. Yeah.
so I just think we need to make
Yep.
sure we're organized around that.
So I put together a spreadsheet, I don't know if you guys saw
I
it,
did.
that broke out, you know, the date of the meeting, the topic, the presenter, and who, you know, kind of who would go through that. All we need to do is fill it out and do it, and then that would get the ball rolling on that if you want, unless somebody's got a.
Well, I think the first question in my mind is, are you really going to do a meeting between the 2 meetings?
We should,
Okay.
because that's we had the
I think we
cadence
should.
anyway.
Okay.
We had the cadence. That's going to be the evening anyway, so it's more easy for people to attend to. So we should do it, and then we can also, we had said we'll invite the other people.
Yeah, we can, yeah,
The towns.
representative. So for example.
Yeah.
Amanda sent an email like, who's keeping track of this for the
Yeah.
event that Bill Cavers had about water quality in Darien at the library last night? And I couldn't go. But I wanted to, but, you know, so that's something that when the person who presents, so I did water, and, you know, some of the programs around that. And so when I present about that, I'd love Bill Cavers to come in and teach us
Yeah.
some stuff about like what they do. And then I can talk about what we put in, because Bill actually wrote the majority of the submittal to Sustainable CT for me, right? And so we talked about some of the programs he did, you know, some of the information. And I think it'd be educational for us too. I think it could be like a win-win-win on the different categories. We each kind of get to learn about what's going on in the different categories, what's going on in the town, and what we could maybe use and bring ideas to the table for that meeting. So that's just one example, obviously, but
Yeah.
it would be for each category. Like maybe for the one about the town businesses, you know, the head of the Chamber of Commerce, who I communicated with for that, she could come in and she could sit in and kind of talk about some of the things. And then if we want to talk about other things in that meeting, we can, you know, let her go. And you know, I don't think they need to, they could just be kind of like a guest.
Do that.
So for the next one, then, if you're going to do in the 2 weeks, I will set it up. So Laura, do you have put any function as something we should deep dive into?
Yeah, I mean, whoever's presenting would obviously have to like, you know, say, okay, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I have to pull it up and see what I put. So give me just 1 minute.
And we're not just going to rehash what we submitted, right?
There it is.
We're going to talk about what we've learned from it that's actionable going forward.
Right. I mean, I think there's some value to saying like, okay, we did, you know, we learned XYZ, and then in the future we can build off of that and do XYZ. And here's the, you know, people we can work with, some of the contacts, so we all kind of can get a grip on that category. That was my thought, but.
Well, it is helpful to talk about what we did because all of us haven't worked on everything.
Right.
It's a bit of education for all of us. Take a brief time and say, okay, here is what we did, here is what we learned, and here is what we think we should do.
Okay.
And then who else in the town can help further this?
So we're going to take the first two actions in a meeting in 2 weeks. Is that what's going to happen here?
Well, I just put dates
It
in
could be in
there,
any
so-
order, whoever's ready.
You don't have them sequential? You're just,
Well, I put every other week, in between our meetings, I think.
Yeah.
I tried to do that, but obviously we can change the dates on here. It's not making sense. So, but the first meeting would be 11/26 ish.
6.
So I don't think that's next week. I think it's week.
It's the day before
2 weeks from today.
Oh. Oh,
It's the day before Thanksgiving.
yeah, maybe we don't want to do that. I didn't look at holidays and stuff. I just.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could make that the 25th or the 24th, the week before. I mean, next Wednesday.
20,
And
why
then-
don't we do 25th then? Instead of
25th.
that, right? 25th is the Tuesday.
Sure.
So that's a regular day.
And
So the presenter would, It-
sorry, at 8 o'clock in the evening, is that?
Yes, we'll have it at 8 o'clock. Unless you guys have different time preference, I assume that's more conducive. And put everyone to bed. and go to work.
8 PM. I
No.
am in bed at 8 PM, but that's fine. No, I mean, that's fine. 8 PM is fine.
So for that particular one, what do you have?
So on the schedule, I put inclusive and equitable community impact. So that's the Optimize for Equity toolkit, equity training, develop and adopt a statement on equity, use a sustainable CT equity toolkit, train municipal staff, adopt a formal equity statement. So Carolyn could just talk about, what she did, if we got points, and then if she wants to invite people, we could ask her.
So we need to ask
She
her.
thinks that makes sense. Certainly, we don't need to have, additional people, but
Well, the question is, she's not here, so we don't know. We need to.
we don't, yeah, I mean, she may.
So can we have a
say,
backup?
like, no, I don't want to present. but-
Can we have a backup?
Well, then that would be me.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next one is I put on 12/31 for some reason, which that's not gonna happen either.
Yeah.
But we need to change that date, but it would be thriving local economies, and that is the local businesses.
Yeah.
And so to that one, I would invite the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And then there's a couple other ones kind of in there that we didn't do as much around, so I could touch on those for, if we think potentially they might make sense in the future, but it'd be if we could get like a sustainable procurement policy, which I don't think we have,
We do
but
not.
that would be great, because if they maybe if they update the procurement policy, we could put a sustainability check in there, and maybe the town would be agreeable to something like that. I don't know. I think
3
that'd be
years
great.
ago, we offered to help the town, which was in the process of redoing policies
Yeah.
to incorporate this kind of language. And they basically said they were too busy but now we have a new town administrator, so they might be
Okay.
up for it. But I mean, I had at the time samples of this kind of thing, how it looks, and I was ready to write it for them if they wanted.
Yeah, maybe we just like make it easy for them to say, hey, can you put these couple sentences in and like see if they get it? Can't hurt.
So I'm writing Carolyn, and that was, what was action 1?
Action 1 was inclusive and equitable.
Is that the
community
number?
impacts.
Action, the first action step, action 1
Yeah, I put them in order.
from the application.
Uh-huh.
So that's a universal one. Everybody
Yep.
talks about that.
1.1, 1.2, 1.3. And then it's
1.23, okay.
1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then the next one is 2.1 to 2.5.
That's also for her?
No, that's mine.
Okay, 1.1,
She may have some input though.
1.2. and 1.3, did you say?
Yeah. I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Goes all the way up to 13. So, I mean, if we schedule the meetings, so if we make the one the 25th, do we want to make the other one like 12? I don't know if we even want to have a meeting between Christmas and New Year's. But
If we do get,
guess we could do-
again, I would even say maybe we could even do it here for half hour, right? If we have time.
if they're open.
No, I mean, in the next month's slot. The regular,
Oh, yeah, at the December meeting?
yeah. What do you want
Yes,
to
I
do?
think we should do.
Yeah.
Because we're a lot to go through. They're like
Yeah.
12, right? So I mean, if we do them,
Let's get started with
we
that.
can do
Yeah.
4 a month, you know,
Yeah.
or 3 months.
Because the special meeting, we can always do 2. If you can get 1 in the regular meeting, that will be 3. 4 months we should be done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna make them, half-hour meeting or an hour meeting? Because if they're only half hour, we're definitely, I mean, like for that topic about the businesses, I feel like it could be a half hour or.
But that's what I'm saying is maybe we can do an hour with 2 topics in there,
Uh-huh.
right?
So I'm really surprised that we learned so much that it's going to take a half an hour to talk about what we need to do going forward.
I think the brainstorming aspect of it might take a little longer and we should like maybe give ourselves a little extra time just to kind of see.
Why don't you proof of concept this? Let's see what happens in the first one,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? Let's play the first one, see how it goes, and then we can see, the thing is, it will take as much time it takes,
Right.
right? We don't want to short circuit anything because
No.
there is no rush for this. It's okay. So we'll see.
I guess the only thing is, we're not gonna revisit this again for at least a year, right? There's 13 topics, we have 1 a month. So it's like, maybe we can get, it's gonna be hard to keep following up on each one. If we need follow-ups, so I guess, if we.
Well, one of the things we talked about was if we can automate this process, right? If for the first topic, if we think that there are town committees who can capture the information as they go along, then that's where we need to really have a meaningful
Yeah.
conversation and say, okay, can you catalog this, put it there so we are not coming back to you once asking everything, right? They may even put it in our share folder. I'm happy to just take them,
Yeah,
right? But those are the conversations we will have. That way it's not left to lurch. They are doing their thing and then we get to see what they do.
yeah. So I guess if we can.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to automate that during that
Yes,
time.
that's the idea.
Then it'll be a little easier. But again, like, we probably won't talk about that topic for a long time after.
That's fine. That's okay.
So in terms of the timing, if we can do 2 action steps at each meeting, and we're having 2 meetings a month,
Then we could get to a more.
I think that should be kind of
Yeah.
an objective, not a firm.
Everybody,
but
yeah.
a target.
Okay, want me to change it to put the 2 topics on.
Yep.
One meeting and shrink it and then put it twice. So again, in 6 months or 8 months or whatever it is.
Right, can you go through, do it a second round?
So, like-
We have to do proof of concept here, I think, because as you're saying, I think that's really.
See how long it takes.
We all have sort of slightly different ideas about what this is gonna look like, what's it gonna be, so let's try it and see what happens.
Let's try one. In the first one, let's have the 2 topics, you and Caroline, right?
Okay.
Let's see how that goes. If Caroline's taken hour, takes hour. If she's not there, we have that topic. If she is not available, then let's pick a 3rd topic. Do we have a 3rd topic?
Yeah, so 3.
Well,
No, I'm just saying.
actually, we didn't do all 12.
So, and no, you're right, we didn't. But at least we should talk about why we didn't have it, right? Maybe, or I don't know.
I don't think we learned anything from it.
We definitely didn't learn,
So,
or
I mean, that's the purpose, I
But-
think.
I guess like for some of them, maybe, my thought is maybe someone has an idea that we didn't think of that where we could potentially.
Fair enough.
But I don't know.
No, that's a good
Um,
point.
So the next one is well steward, land and natural resources. So it's the watershed piece, the open space plan, we would talk about Great Island, invasive species, pollinator pathway stuff, green ground maintenance. To me, that could take up like 5 hours. So, that topic,
Who led on that?
I did.
So you got 2 of them.
although Carolyn's got a lot of information on probably all, if like most, if not all of these,
Yeah.
because she kind of steered me to something, and even like Kathy had some ideas on some of this, like with that, ice, de-icing idea, right? Like
The
with
road
the
de-icing, yeah.
natural, that stuff with a different kind of salt and stuff like that. So, there could be three presenters on this one,
Well, let's have those three topics as the first set of topics, and then let's go through them, see how far we get.
So do you want me to combine the first two into one day?
Yes.
Okay, and then combine the next two into one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one depends on whether Caroline is available.
Yeah.
I've written her, and
Oh, you wrote her?
hopefully she'll answer before we finish.
Very good. Anything else on the topic?
It's an important.
Suman, anything else on the topic? You have any feedback?
No, the only thing I was going to suggest was we are talking about inviting others, right, to participate. So, for example, I had to reach out to someone from P&Z. So we should make sure all topics that P&Z folks contributed to are discussed at that meeting. So we're not inviting them multiple times.
Yeah, and we're not
Right.
wasting their time.
And we're
So,
not wasting their time. So to make
We have
to be most
questions for them first.
efficient, right? So
Yeah.
I think, Lauren, your planning table is going to be important for that exercise and kind of pairing up those topics that we're talking about also. That would make the most sense.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
If we're going to invite the Chamber of Commerce to an 11:25 meeting, I'd want to reach out to them now. And tell them at least the bullet points about
Yep.
what we're going to discuss, and have them, bring their ideas and send them a copy of what we submitted to Sustainable CT so they can review it, so they know kind of what's going on. Or at least give them a call and say, hey, this is what we're doing, something to kind of, so they're not just like walking in blind, right? So that's.
Right.
that's
And the other thing too is, I know Cliff was asking about what actions we are covering. So using that same example, if the Chamber of Commerce contributed to, let's say, action 1 and action 5, we should cover those two during the discussion. So we may be jumping around with the actions, the action numbers.
I think that's okay. We don't need to be sequential anyway.
Exactly.
Because they are independent
Yeah.
topics. It should be fine. Yeah.
I don't know which ones overlap. So I haven't done that exercise. Yeah, I don't know I don't know exactly how to tackle that, to be honest. If we want to talk about other things while we have them, you mean?
Yes, I think we might have to, I think we'll have to collaborate on that table you've got going there, Lauren. And
Yeah,
make sure
I
that
mean,
it's covered. That's basically it, because the master table that you had pulled together when we were working through all of this has the contacts for each of those sub actions, right? So we kind of have to go back to that and take a look at all the individuals listed.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I can add the contacts into this new spreadsheet that we're doing for tracking the meeting. I didn't want to get all confused because there was so much information in the other spreadsheet.
Sure. Mhm.
So I think you're right. Maybe we add the contacts into this spreadsheet.
That'll make it easier.
Yeah.
That will make it
Right.
easier.
But again, this isn't going to be a review of all the wonderful things we're already doing and patting ourselves on the back, and that's where we got the points. This is going to be, what did we learn from this that's going to change going forward? Either how we collect data or programs we start, right?
Yep.
That's the purpose of
Yep.
this.
So I guess the question is, in order to move forward, do we need to go back and explain to them what we did again? So they're kind of like, oh yeah, we get it now. Like, that's what you did. And now we get to go forward and do the same. Now, like, I guess.
In the conversation, you have to have a recap, right? They need,
Yeah,
they
yeah, we
need
have
to
to.
set the level set anyway. It's okay to spend some time talking about what exactly we did, what's our understanding was, and even talk about how the process worked, how complicated it was for us, and then how can they help simplify for the future. That's why we want to automate, right? Because we need their buy-in to automate anything we want to automate.
are we all dropping, the things that we submitted into like the bucket? So like Amanda sent an email that said like who's tracking the stuff, right? So, you know, that new thing that happened, the meeting, like I put that in that folder for that topic. Is that something that we're all gonna continue to do as well for?
We should, because sorry, I haven't had time to take a look at any of that, unfortunately. I just came back recently, right? So yeah, we should look, if you're getting any new information, we need to have a way to tag it, catalog it,
Yeah,
and continue for, archiving. So that way we have one place to go. I recommend maybe we start a new thing, new folder setup. That's my recommendation for the future. If there's a new things coming, right? I don't, Right.
for 2020
beyond
Five
whatever, yeah.
in the
that-
future.
Yeah, I need to think something about it. So yeah, let me do some thinking. What's the best way to capture
Mhm.
anything we learn? Because there is so much information, you don't want to get lost. That's all.
Mohan, I know you'd recommended downloading all those files, the final versions, right?
Yes.
Just in
Yes,
terms
yes.
of housekeeping.
Yeah.
So just a reminder that that would help us also, right? So then we have that archived version that went into
Correct.
the
Correct.
application.
Yeah, I would do that because I did not want everybody to take time doing two uploads. Now that we have the
Right.
final application and everything in sustainable CD, I will get them all out so that we have all of the historical information at one place. Yeah, we'll do so.
It's also available, our submission is available on the Sustainable CT website.
Right.
Our final submission is there. Okay, I think that's a good step.
All right, thank you. So moving on, the next topic is the next important thing we want to tackle is the gas powered leaf blowers. Just gonna ask anybody has any thoughts based on where we left off, etc. So we'll start with Abby.
Yeah, based on the conversation with the selectman
Yep.
a couple of meetings ago, it doesn't seem like he is heavily interested in sort of in pushing the issue. And so I was just thinking about how do we start addressing the issue and where can we continue this, but maybe taking a different angle. And the feedback that I think we keep receiving as a committee is there's a lot of concern about Great Island and the sort of ecological practices there when it comes to the mowing and leaf blowing. And I'm wondering if we take essentially a town property and start there and almost provide the practices for how the town will care for this specific town property and use that as a showcase for going forward. What works on that property? How can we grow this? And having this, start at the town being the example for, best ecological practices.
Well, I can tell you from previous meetings when we had representatives of town administration in our meetings, that there is a gigantic reluctance to invest in electric blowers and electric other electric equipment like electric mowers. They're just so. I mean, where I would be inclined. Oh, by the way, did you have any opportunity to find out what the RTM was doing with respect to this?
I haven't. It seemed like it was just my understanding that it was just a no-go in terms of the town wasn't interested in
They were
pushing
working,
this.
they're definitely working on the noise component of it.
Okay.
And possibly restricting the hours when these things could be used. I mean, I think we've all received these emails from different people blasting us, saying, we're so far behind other towns. We're not doing what needs to be doing. This is an intolerable situation. There's one that was sent to John and copied to us just very recently, which incorporated all the talk about the island and so on. I think we need to go to John and say, I know you don't want to be a first mover. I know you got other things on your agenda, but this is a topic a lot of people in town are concerned about. And, we say we're serious about sustainability and we don't want to be first first out of the blocks with something new. We're not first out of the blocks with something new. We're
Yeah.
behind everybody else here. I mean, he has a certain amount of pride too, that, you know, we all do.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the last town to do something. You know, we've got this silver certification and yet we can't even do that. What does that say?
I think there's, if we look at the town property in Great Island, which is the one I think we received the most feedback on, and what the landscaping practices are on Great Island. And I think we could even just, we don't even have to focus on the blower. Here's a section that is next to a wetland and we can just leave those leaves. Like we don't need to switch to electric mowers, leaf blowers for that. So it's just a non-issue. It's just leave the leaves there. And so I'm just wondering if there's places where we don't even need to discuss whether we switch to electric in that area, but we just do nothing there anymore.
My recollection was that John's big concern about that is liability. He wants the paths to be cleared so nobody's going to slip or fall. That's my recollection.
Yeah, that's one of the issues.
Yeah, I think in one of the emails it wasn't even discussed. Somebody had witnessed not even clearing paths. It was actually just like in a field and just like
Yes.
blowing out the leaves at Great Island, and actually into the wetlands. And so as a town, like that's a practice that I think can be quickly remediated without even the discussion of blowers.
That's Parks and Rec. Great Island would be under Parks and Rec as opposed to under the, what is it, Ed Gentile is,
Public Works.
Public Works. Public Works does a lot of town properties like this property, but Parks and Recs, I think, has their own. So maybe they'd be amenable to that. Because I know it was Ed who's, he said it was dead body.
I think there are a few threads here, right? Thank you, Abby. I think that may be more impactful in the immediate term. I think if you were to do a comprehensive study of this, I would think we could look at, okay, so what's happening? What's the big macro picture? Yes, right. So one of the theming is, okay, there are town-owned properties where town officials can make a quick decision, not necessarily, influencing the third parties like the private gas-powered leaf blowers, right? So that's one thing. To me, those are two different use cases to which we can work to, right? We can take those and then maybe collect some data for each of those. And then also, I would level set and say, I think we have the data, we just need to put in a structured format. How are we doing collectively compared to other towns?
Yeah.
Right? We have that information in bits and pieces. If you can paint a picture and say, just even maybe I'm thinking on something like an Excel spreadsheet, we can say what is Wilton doing versus New Canaan versus Fairfield and us in terms of time of the day, right? Are there restrictions because of the seasonal restrictions, right? And then are there promotions within the town? Maybe we should do those. Maybe we should do one of those comparisons first, which will paint a picture on where do we stand, right? Because I don't think anybody has that big picture. Once we have it, and then say, okay, fine. So now that we have it, the first question we need to ask then is, do we want to improve anything or we don't care about it?
Mm-hmm.
If we care about it, what are all the avenues, right? As you said, okay, we want to tackle the government properties where things can be handled. There may not even be anything to do with the leaf blower, right? And then, another thing we want to tackle is whether it's noise related, whether it is related to the health and the welfare and the hazard, the environmental issues, right? I think to me, building that picture is going to be important. So then we have that. If we can create that study, I think that brings data, right? People want data. Otherwise, okay, you're talking. That's what one of John's issue was. Show me the data. How can I use?
Yeah.
So
I think it's important too to hone in on
Yeah.
what is and maybe it is just all of the things,
Yeah.
but what is it about the leaf blowers that we care the most about? Because I think that drives solution. So is it noise? Because then that brings in time of day restrictions.
Yeah.
Are we concerned about the environmental impacts? Then that steers us towards campaigns such as Leave the Leaves or planting pollinator gardens.
Yes.
And so I think it's figuring out where we want to go, and maybe it's a little bit in all of them.
Maybe, Abby, maybe we can make our own direct recommendation based on the data that we pulled together, because the data's changed too.
Yes, yes.
It has.
Now we have a
That's the
lot
issue.
more support for this argument,
Yes.
right?
Norwalk just had.
Norwalk,
I mean,
Stanford. Well,
Could we even-
somebody sent the
Sorry.
Stanford one that was, they can only use gas powered blowers October through December. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And there's, ramifications. So, if we can say, okay, based on this data, XYZ, other towns, plus that, what you said, and then we can say, okay, now here's our summation, here's our recommendation. This is what we do. We get real specific.
Yeah.
Maybe we can push that through.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think in answer to you, I think it's all of it.
Yeah.
I think it's all of it. And, I mean, when you blow up all these toxic chemicals, it's in the air.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
gas, the fumes, we have information about that.
Yeah.
I think the thing, getting updated information about what other towns is doing might be a heavy lift, and maybe more than one person needs to work on that. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea, Cliff.
Yeah, I think each town also, they have their various restrictions when it comes to blowers, but they all have their own enforcement mechanisms
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
So while a town may seem to have a really excellent set of restrictions, there is absolutely no enforcement.
So that's an important part of it.
And so that is.
Isn't that always the story though? It's,
Right. What are we doing about it? So the other thing I was thinking, Lauren, could we do a survey? Town survey?
I love that idea for this, because you know what we're gonna say. You know exactly what we're gonna say.
If the
We can
data,
do
that's
it.
a piece of data
We can do an
directly coming from the
abbreviated
consumers of
survey.
the town.
I will stand outside of the Stop and Shop and just take the most random 100 people in Darien surveyed. Oh, maybe not Stop and Shop.
We could do it online.
Maybe
We could do
Darien's
it online. We could do it online.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
I
that kind of
don't
a
see what
survey, I mean,
the problem.
asking the residents.
Yeah, what do you think about this? Because
Would
they're
would we
all,
have
they're
to
all
get approval for a survey? I
Yeah.
No,
think
you
we
don't
could
have-
do our own informal survey and literally stand out there, write down their answers and say, of the 100 people we surveyed across Darien, I'll take 20 people and you take 20 people, we'll divide.
And we
it
could do
among-
any of that. I'm saying we could do any of those, but I think online surveys reach people. They can, if we can just put it out there and say, here's that, maybe we can put, when we talk to people, say, go here's the survey, do the survey.
Yeah,
We could do any of them.
I just feel like maybe if we do online survey, we might be limiting our population somehow, right? Like we might not be getting like the older people,
We
or
do
the,
both.
like, I don't know.
I think we should do both. Like,
Maybe
I'm
we
not
do
saying
both.
one, right? We should do
Yeah,
both.
maybe we do both.
Yeah.
But I do love the survey idea. I think if we're gonna do it, like, let's
Yeah,
put
because
it
it's
out, let's get it
the-
out there.
Look, sometimes it seems like I hear from people, well, there are only 4 people in the town who are screaming all the time about this.
No. that's
Well,
not
the problem
true.
is that's what we are seeing. The 4 people emails and nobody else. The question is, okay, 20,000 versus 4. Then,
Yeah.
That's all good. I think the more important thing is for John to see how far behind we are for all
Yes.
the surrounding towns.
yes.
And how cleverly they've approached a bunch of these things, addressing some of his concerns. And enforcement is a big question.
I mean, we could even ask about what other, if in the survey, we ask if others think we are behind other towns.
Yeah.
Based on some data, we could give them some information. We could say, hey, did you know Stanford did this? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like, we could,
But-
I don't want to lead them,
The
but
facts are the facts, right? If we show John what the other towns are
I
doing,
don't-
whether people in town are aware of that or not.
I think both could be useful tools to sway. I think we throw kind of everything at them if we
Yeah.
can, but
I
that's
think,
The more the better.
yeah,
right.
I think the survey and trying to drum up support, I think goes to the idea of having an educational event. And like, we see the placards
Yeah.
that say leave the leaves, but why? And
Yes.
nobody likes the noise of leaf blowers, but I think a lot of people are like, I can just tune it out. But then if they understand all of the other impacts that go beyond the noise, I think is important too, in terms of, the support base.
So I volunteered to go and find out what happened at the RTM. I'll do that. And I would be happy to work with you if you like to set up some kind of a structure of what we're looking for. What are they doing with respect to hours? What are they doing with respect to penalties, electric versus gas, all these,
Yeah.
there are probably 6 or 7 different categories.
Okay. How wide are we looking to go? state, like the most local.
I think we should at least do
Adjacent
the
towns.
adjoining communities that have a very minimum. And if we can find a few good examples, we did have, and we probably still do, a few good examples of other places in Connecticut, or, model, find any good models, but at least he doesn't want to fall behind. I mean, I think he's very concerned about Connecticut.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that Sustainable CT might have this information and we could save ourselves some effort?
They might have some good information for us,
Maybe we could ask them and say,
for
hey,
sure,
do you have
for sure.
a list of the towns that have passed these ordinances? I mean,
I think it's a great idea. Is that something you want to do, Abby, or do you want me to try to reach out?
Yeah.
I'll try to, as a first draft, put together sort of a matrix or something that we might try to fill in together.
Okay.
And depending upon what you find out from Sustainable CT, we can divide up the communities to investigate.
do you guys want me to draft a survey? Or
Yeah, let's
am I
do it.
jumping
Yeah,
the gun?
let's, yeah.
I get excited.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull together all the information we have. I don't know where it is. I don't know it's in emails, maybe in the folder. Let me make sure it's all in a single folder and send a link to all of you. So that we have all of the information available to date, because we had a gentleman coming in. He also sent some of the information from the neighboring towns. So this is some of the links. So let me compile all of that, put it in a folder, so we can have all of the information at one place. So at least it's a starter. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Can you ask Sustainable CT while you're at it, if they have any other supporting documentation, like a presentation that could help us, or they may have some of this stuff.
Mhm.
They may have a survey for all I know, right? Like that other towns might be
Okay.
willing to share on the. I mean,
So,
this is
Abby,
a
do you
big
know the
comment,
contact?
so.
Sustainable CD.
Who was it? Summer?
Is it Summer? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start with
her.
her.
Start
Yeah.
with someone. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Just-
I'll find out, right?
I think Summer's helpful. Their leader, I can ask Carolyn, or you can ask Carolyn. Carolyn might have another
Yeah.
person too.
is this something that, in addition to Sustainable CT, so many of the other organizations locally are working on this issue, whether it's the different campaigns? Is this something we should kind of all together come together on? Like, what is the protocol? So
With other towns, working
no,
with.
not necessarily the other towns, but even, or the land trust, or,
Yeah.
nature center, like,
I mean, I
can
think
we
they would
like
jump in
have a
and
meeting
We
with
can
the
ask.
group?
The,
collective
the only
groups?
thing I would say is maybe we should get our own picture first
Okay.
and then bring others. And the problem is then we'll be lost, right? So if they
Yeah.
come back, they say they bring other people. It's all okay. If we can get our first draft and say, hey, here's what we're thinking, here's what we observe. What do you think? Do you have additional information? Can you contribute? Then that would be more useful, is what I think.
I think
That's a good idea.
Right.
But I do think they would jump on board, but you're right, it
I
might
do
be too
too.
chaotic.
I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah, I don't want
Gotta
to.
give them something to jump on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Very good.
Good.
Anything else on leaf blowers for now? Okay, we will also continue to study on our own and see if any additional information can be brought together for the team here. Wonderful. So communication strategy update. Okay, Lauren.
This is mine.
Well, honestly, it was with me. I think three of us met Caroline and
Right.
Lauren and me before I left to India, to see if we can sync up our Instagram page and Facebook page. And I might have to speak to you again, Lauren, because I've forgotten what I was supposed to do. Well, I know what I was supposed to do, maybe just from an access perspective, but I'm going to take a look at this and get back to you because I haven't had the time with my travel schedule. Yeah. Okay. And then once that's done, then we will still have to go back and figure out what do we post, how do we post, and your plan is still relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I have like a draft calendar
Yeah.
of like the different
Yeah.
topics we could use
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
could also use the sustainable CT stuff to kick that off and follow
Okay.
that. There's no shortage of topics.
I think we should, let me work on it on the technical side. We'll conclude one way or the other, but we should, once we conclude in the next week or so, we can kick off the calendar and then go from there.
So I don't know, I'm pretty sure I did not send it to everybody, but I did send, I think to you, Mohan, and to you as well, a potential posting about glass,
Yeah.
recycling glass.
So for now, we can just put that on the recycle webpage. We still have that. I have access to it. Carolyn has access to it. If you want.
I'm happy to have, I think we were all asked if we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Contribution.
Yeah.
I created a contribution, I shared it, and now what?
Yeah. I mean, we don't
publish it.
have like a full
Publish
comprehensive
it.
plan. So that's why I haven't
Why
like,
bring it up?
I haven't started I posted
Yeah,
anything.
we have,
We
yeah.
haven't, we don't have a comprehensive plan. I don't just want to put one thing up and then like
Yeah,
put
yeah.
something weird, like different and like, you know, I think a comprehensive plan of like exactly how we're gonna do that we can all agree upon makes the most sense. I don't know what that is.
That's why it's big of help. So let's try to start this over in the before the next meeting is what I would say. So we'll figure out what the plan is and then where to post what to reflect, whether we can sync up the 2 pages, etc. So Cliff, so bear with us for a minute.
Well, do you want to just put it up on the recycle?
You can
I
put
mean, that
it,
has a
doesn't
big
hurt.
following.
Doesn't
They
hurt,
have Instagram and Facebook.
Let's not put it in. Yeah, let's put it in. It's fine to post multiple places. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carolyn does those, so I'll just run it by her.
Okay. Right, waste management. The next topic.
Well, I gotta tell you that I'm kind of discouraged. I've had such an enthusiastic reception at both the schools and at one of the senior residences. And I've been following up. I try not to be too pushy about all this, but I've called 2 or 3 times with no callback, no answer, nothing. And I don't know if that means that they've decided they don't want to move forward and they just don't want to tell me, or what's going on. So I find that quite discouraging. I sort of need a leader, an example to then bring to others. At least that's been some of my thinking.
On the school front, though, John had always said, if you need help, raise it to me. My question is, if we are not hearing, could we leverage him to say, hey, can you nudge?
So that's a tough one. I mean, these people were so friendly, so receptive, so I don't want to sort of like get them in trouble, so to speak, you know?
We are not trying to, right?
No, I don't, but that's a hard one. I tend to be, I'm an Enneagram 8.
Excuse me, do you want the lights up?
Oh,
I didn't know if you were going for quiet lighting, or if you
We
need.
didn't notice at all.
yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe, thank you, that's great.
Now I shine on the screen. Thank you.
Thing to do is not to point any fingers or anything, but just maybe to ask John if he could check in with him and see how it's.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff, stop being so nice.
Yeah.
No,
Get after him.
yeah, I'm not.
That's
that
it.
kind
Did
of
you
person.
call them, Cliff, or did you send them an email? What did you?
I phoned them and left voicemail.
Yeah, that's the problem. People,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right?
People-
Because they forget.
You think they're more likely to respond to an email? Because I find the opposite.
No, the problem, if you get them on the phone, it's great. Otherwise, I don't know, even with all those messages, they may forget to act. There's nothing like email, you at least a click reply, I can do it. This one, they have to make physical effort to call and then say, I'll do it later and then forget. I'm just saying, so if you can do some of those follow-ups.
I may have done both, but I will do another. I will do another for sure.
Call.
Sorry?
Who did you call?
Well, and this is a public meeting. I don't want to sort of throw out.
That's fine.
No, like, because there's some new people, right, that are been elected or. to
Well,
the-
the person responsible to make this happen is the person I'm dealing with, and he's still there.
Okay,
And then there's another person there who's would be responsible for incorporating it into the curriculum.
Maybe if you send them an email, we might say, hey, John, we're following up, we're still awaiting them. And then you might say, can you tell them, that's in a way that it's because if they think he's expecting, probably they will be more amenable to respond.
I would do an email, I think,
Yeah.
before,
Right.
or.
Let's do
and
the
then-
email
and
and then.
Before John.
Yeah.
Like school administrators have tricky schedules sometimes. Something comes
Exactly.
up
Absolutely
and,
true. Absolutely.
yeah, their
And that's-
hours are a little.
That's
I
right.
actually was a school
Yeah.
administrator, so I'm very aware. So that's kind of the part
Okay.
that's frustrating and sad for me. The things that have been positive, somebody threw out there about attending the Zero Waste Conference. I don't know who suggested it, but I forked over 100 and something bucks and I attended one day of it.
Wow.
And it was actually very encouraging to me. When I saw what the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey was doing, when I saw different companies like the beer companies, Sierra Nevada, what they were doing, when I learned about some of these different organizations in the space, it was also very interesting. There's something called true.gbci.org, which is a little bit like Sustainable CT. It gives you points for different things and then certifies you
Right.
as like a zero waste champion or some such thing. And they talked a lot about extended producer responsibility, and reverse logistics and reducing by reusing, all these kinds of things we know about, but Canada having stricter requirements than we do down here. But it was Food Recovery Network. There's just a lot of things that I would say we know about, but we don't necessarily see what other organizations are doing. Johns Hopkins showed what they have, a zero waste manager at Johns Hopkins. There's a climate action and sustainability plan in different universities and organizations. Baltimore was very well represented and active in this field. So, I mean, I was heartened to learn about a lot of the good things that are being done. There wasn't anything that I picked up there and I said, oh, this is something Darien should do or something
Right.
Darien could do. So from that point of view, it wasn't very productive, but at least it improved my morale. So that's one thing I would reporting back to you on that.
The Baltimore, you said, okay, because that's kind of a city state, right? So that those are more in our perimeter. So what are they? What's the definition?
So Johns Hopkins is in Baltimore.
Okay.
And the town is coordinated with the university to
Yeah, right.
help with trash removal and recycling and
Okay.
things like that.
Okay.
There wasn't anything I thought, oh, this is a town, we're a town.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah.
There's nothing like that.
Okay, we could leverage. Okay.
And the second thing that I found super encouraging was the thing I wrote the little article about, but I didn't share that with you. And I didn't in part because of the town's admonition not to be conducting business outside of the public forum. And if you send it to one or two people, you're okay. But if you send it to more than that, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble. But the JP Morgan building in New York that just went up on Park Avenue has in it 29 million glass bottles that would have gone to landfills.
Oh, cool.
And some of those glass bottles came from Darien.
Oh.
Our glass bottles go to out of our single stream, go to Glenbrook, to a city carting processing facility that separates out the metal from the plastic from the glass. That glass, I didn't realize it, but they actually break it there at city carting into small pieces. And they cart it up to Beacon Falls, Connecticut, where another company gets paid to take it from them. So we pay city carting to take it. They pay another organization less to take it, so they make the spread. It gets up there. I have a picture of it actually that it has plastic in it and metal in it, and it's surprising that it's not a pure. This is what it looks like when it comes in.
Oh, okay.
And this is the good stuff. This is the stuff from Darien and other towns like ours, which have good sorting equipment applied to their work. This is the stuff that comes from towns further to the east of us.
Oh, wow.
I didn't share that.
More contaminated.
It's got toothbrushes in it
Yeah.
and, things that are just totally unreal. Yeah, more contaminated. Absolutely.
Wow.
In any case, this plant up there takes this stuff and sorts it all out, all automated, and gets everything out of there it shouldn't be, and then pulverizes it into a very, very fine white powder, basically, that is used to replace concrete in cement. Not completely, but partially. And it cuts down on the carbon footprint because cement actually requires ingredients that are from carbon sources. It creates, because glass is not soluble, it creates a stronger, more less permeable concrete, which is a good thing because concrete often has rebar in it, and rebar will rust if it has water on it. And if you don't get so much water there, it's not going to rust as much. So it's, anyway, it was really great to see this in operation. And so my little article is, do our glass bottles really get recycled? Is the question. And the answer is yes. And I give this example. It's also, they make more glass out of it too in other places. But I thought that was also quite encouraging. That's where I was when you were at the award ceremony.
Awesome.
Very good.
Awesome. We'll get that article out. Do you think you want it anywhere else? Like, do you want to submit it to Darien?
Probably not yet. I was doing it just for, we might want to make an article about it at some point, but I just thought, we needed materials for our our Facebook and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you might want to think about some of the magazines that they put. I've seen lots of environmental related articles about,
Yeah,
posting and things like
yeah,
that.
I
in
get that. And maybe at some point that's something to do. Whenever they do their article, they want it to be theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to just copy something or see something they don't want their article to be appearing in other places as if it never was theirs. You know what I mean? You don't, okay.
Well, just theirs.
I think it's fine to put it up on our social media, and I don't think that they're going to want it in addition, but a different version of it maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Smith? Good.
Sadly.
Yep,
Bad.
that's fine. So
Little
there is all progress is slow, unfortunately. You can break things apart easily.
Yeah.
Pulling together. So the last topic I have is the next year's appointments notification. I have received from the town to asking us who all wants to be reappointed. I'm assuming and hoping you all want to be reappointed for next year so that we can carry on with the mission. We have your permission to submit your names, or anybody have to think about it?
I
No,
feel
but
like I haven't even gotten started.
I know. Can we try to get some new people too?
No, absolutely. So yeah. We have open positions, right? This
Yeah.
is to, remember last year what happened? We took a lot of time to reappoint the last in a year.
Yeah,
They want to get started now to just reappoint the committee so that we can
Yeah.
carry on with our lives and get the others.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're all comfortable? Happy? Suman, you're comfortable?
Yes, I'm
Awesome.
good with that.
Wonderful. And that seals the deal. I don't have to send an email. Excellent. Okay. So I think those are all the topics we have had. I don't think I have an AOB, so we're not going to talk about it because I don't have it on the agenda. So if there is no other business, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Now I call the meeting adjourned. So thank you all.
in favor.
You do have to turn off the recording.
Yes.